Hello and welcome to the second part of the East Pines Park regeneration story. As you can see, the leaves that we put down last week are holding well, and they haven't blown away in all this horrible weather that we've been having. And you can also see we've got a special guest star today. Can I introduce you to the brilliant Michelle? And Michelle is the secretary of the Friends of East Pines Park, and she's got a day off today, so she's popped in to do a bit of tidying as well and cut back all of those taller plants. I can't remember the name. I know they begin with A, so I'll check that later and put that in the description below. Yeah, we're going to crack on, take out as many weeds as we can, and we also have had a big supply of wood chip delivered today, so we're going to be putting that down as well as the leaves and stop all of these weeds growing back as we take them out. So we'll crack on, and we'll see you in a bit, hopefully with a lot less weeds in this picture. So we got underway with the weeding. Michelle is cutting away at the verbenas. Now this was a job that we traditionally would have done probably in November. Cut them back, and obviously that strengthens the roots for future growth. They're a fantastic perennial, and for anyone who's not sure what a verbena looks like, it's one of those very tall, stringy plants, but grows about 1.5 meters in height, and has very delicate purple flowers on the end of the tall stems. Very popular with butterflies, and a great perennial, so it grows back and grows for fun in the park. Now I'm starting to weed, and it's quite a big stretch there that I'm planning to do today. You can see on my right hand side there's a wooden stump. The plan is that I'll weed all of that area there, so it's about 4 square yards really, but the weeds were pretty embedded, and the soil was quite wet, so the roots really stuck to it. The other thing you can notice there is that we've finally got a dry day. The blue sky in just above us is gorgeous. The only downside today is it's really cold. So it's 2 degrees, but because of the easterly wind, it really feels more like -2. It's a bitter day, which is why we've got so many layers on. And we probably look slightly bigger than we actually are here with all those layers on, but it was essential today. But yeah, we cracked on, and we started to make quite good progress with this. I was really pleased actually. The hardest bit is starting. The other thing you can notice as well is it's been a week since we put those leaves down last week, and they've largely stayed in place, which is fantastic because it's been pretty windy, so we could have lost those down the road. So I was really pleased that they were still there, and it's encouraging when you see last week's work still holding good. It heartens the soul for what's to come, knowing that what you're doing today will still be there next week, and that's very much part of what we want to achieve. We want to make sure really that everything we do today is going to be there for not just next week but the next couple of months until we hit the planting season. The actual plan today will be take the weeds out, put some bin bags down, so a plastic base which is easy to cut through when we come to plant, and then put the leaf mulch down, and then on top of that put some of the new wood chip on top of that, so that'll all hold it in place. And that will mean when we come to plant in May time, we're going to plant lots and lots of Rudbeckia in this stretch, so probably about 100 yellow Rudbeckia plants. It'll be largely weed free, and we won't have to keep coming back to weed this particular section. So we're at the sort of halfway stage. We're sort of the halfway stage, but we are making great progress actually today. It is a bit windy, so I'm sort of being a bit shouted with my coat. If you could see me now, it'll look very odd. I'm trying to use part of my coat to protect the camera from the wind so you can hear me. But we've taken out all this stretch of weeds here. That's going to make a big impact. Let's say the next part is to push these weeds out into that section there, and then we'll put some plastic matting down and some wood chip. And as you can also see, Michelle's making great progress in clearing out all the remains of the tops of the dead verbenas. So again, it's really opening it out, and you can start to see some daffodils now. And our plan again is to clear this out, move all the plants in all the right places, and get that ready for our summer planting plan when probably about April time, April, May. But right, I will crack on, and I will take out this next stretch of weeds. But I'm really chuffed how it's going, really pleased. So Michelle is laying the plastic, which the mulch is going to go on top, and also the wood chip, so therefore the weeds won't go back, and this is going to make it a lot easier. Unfortunately, it's really windy today, and Michelle is struggling a little bit to get it in place. As you can imagine, it's the joys of an easterly wind on a very cold day. At this point, we're joined by two other special guest stars. Now, you might remember Eddie from a previous video did in the area where I was rebuilding the compost bins. Eddie came and said hello, and with Eddie is Lindsay, Eddie's wife, and Michelle's mum, and obviously Eddie is Michelle's dad. Eddie and Lindsay have done a cracking job on the library gardens, and I'll show you, we'll make a video of that area one day to show you the work that they've actually done. They've really done a great job just on their own. They look after the polytunnel, and the library garden is crucial because when we reopen our cafe after lockdown, the library garden is going to be a key part of that, and the fact that it all looks really tidy and looked after is crucial. Now, what you can probably notice as well is just how wrapped up Eddie and Lindsay are in this picture, and it really shows just how cold it was at this point. It really was bitter. In fact, I was probably one of the lucky ones here because I was working. I was still able to stay fairly warm. But what I did start to do as I got colder, I started to work faster, mainly because I was desperate to finish as fast as I could, and also it was just the only way I could think of to stay warm. Generally I was okay, but I was definitely starting to feel it at this point, and my little toes were really starting to fall out with me for being out there. But it was great to see them and have a general catch up. So Michelle's now putting down the first layer of mulch on the plastic bin bags that she's put down. Michelle, how's it going?
Very well, they're very wet.
Yeah.
And yes, they'll do the job, these.
Oh, you're doing a great job. Yeah.
We feel better knowing these are down.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you warm enough?
My toes are cold.
It is cold. It is really cold. Yeah. You're doing it.
We'll get there.
Oh, absolutely. Doing a great job. Well done. So I'm really starting to motor at this point. You can really tell the speed of how those hands are moving. Michelle was equally cold. I was frozen. By this point, my fingers were starting to go. What I don't know if you can tell or not, but in the picture just above the houses, the skyline there, the sky earlier was a really nice blue. Now it's actually quite grey and it's actually quite dark. And what was actually starting to happen now is the blue had gone, obviously, and it was threatening to. We couldn't work it out if it was going to rain or snow. It actually turned out it was going to snow, which speaks volumes. And we weren't far off from the first flurry of snow starting to come down. It really was bitter, so I was just going like the clappers, but I was absolutely determined that I was going to finish this today, this particular stretch anyway, because it just matched or made a natural border and a real sense of achievement. But yeah, I was going like the clappers at this point to try and get finished as fast as I possibly could. Well done, Michelle. That's
dried leaves on top ready for the bulb, so we've got 3 layers. Hopefully we can let the beets coming through, because we don't like the dark.
No, you've done really well, really well.
Got ground after
Yeah. Done really well, really well. So this is the wood chip pile that we've got. This has been very kindly donated by Blackpool Council, and it's crucial in taking not just taking out the weeds but keeping the weeds down, so as each job we do we don't have to repeat it come April. So really pleased with this. So the plan of attack, we're going to get some of this and put that in the wheelbarrow and take that all the way over there where you can see Michelle, and we're going to put that over there on those leaves. It's where that pink bag is. So I'll crack on and get on with that, and I'll see you shortly. So my job at this point was to get the wood chip from the other side of the park and bring it over, and Michelle's job was to evenly spread it and really give a good covering over the area we've dug out, but mainly make sure that it goes on top of the leaves in a way that stops all the leaves from blowing away. So in effect you'll have 3 tiers: the bags, the leaf mulch, and then the wood chip on top of that as well. So I can see Michelle's having a little bit of a breather here. She's worked really hard, so she deserves it. Now you can see what she's trying to do now is just spread it out nice and evenly, and you'll see that sort of pattern begin to emerge. And again, the wide plan today is to just make sure this entire area is covered, so any roots that I didn't take out, any reed roots, will stay below ground and eventually die off because they're not getting any light, and again just make our job so much easier. So this was a massive job for us today. It's going to make our life so much easier, and yeah, really pleased with the progress so far. And again, it was absolutely bitterly cold at this point, and you'll probably noticed earlier that my finger keeps appearing in the camera shot. The reason why was whenever I tried to pick the camera up, my fingers were so cold I could barely feel what I was picking up and not at that point. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with that. But yeah, it was great progress at this point. We were almost finished for the day, so we were rattling along at a good speed now.
I'll follow you round.
And this will be the last wheelbarrow of wood chip that we'll use today, and then we'll finish this part off tomorrow.
Alright, Paul will just tip it now on the last section. And that's it for today. Put our tools away and head back to a nice warm house with a cup of tea.